So, as just like a fun sort of video while we're in the middle of an off week, I thought it would be kind of fun to go back and look at all of my sort of more meta relevant teams, I guess, for PvP. Maybe not even really meta relevant, but just some fun teams and stuff like that that I used to use every once in a while in PvP. Kind of like a trip down memory lane, sort of. So, obviously, my very first Grand Cross PvP video was back when level 75 was the highest I think you could go. So, yeah. Well, actually, I don't know. You may have even been able to go to 80, but I don't know if I just didn't have the resources to go for it at the moment or what the case was there. So you can see this was right after Green Escanor came out, and I was using him, Green Jericho, Red Gother, and Blue King. So Blue King, surprisingly, was very, very, very good for probably like the first probably like 9 months of this game or so. Like, he was really, really good as far as like just making sure that you could cleanse and heal and petrify people and stuff like that. Like, he's just a crazy good unit. Obviously, he doesn't get a whole lot of playtime now, but it is what it is. Everybody kind of gets phased out over time. Red Gother honestly can still be used very effectively, so it's really cool to see that he was pretty much on my very first team. Green Jericho really didn't need to be on this team specifically, but I liked Green Jericho a lot, and I actually had a lot of like good like use out of her in these early sort of PvP videos because I wasn't the highest level in PvP, obviously, and just going through the lower ranks and stuff like that, there was a lot of room for error and room for, you know, mistakes and stuff like that. So I was able to get away with using her, and obviously there wasn't as much like one-shot potential back then, so PvP matches were quite a bit slower. And then of course Green Escanor being the main who he is obviously very, very heavy hitter, very good at the game. So, you know, that was the original team. You can see my PvP CC in ungeared is 92,000, which is pretty crazy to think about because I can see people hit like 170k nowadays with level 90 and Super Awakening and all of that good stuff being out. So it's pretty crazy to see how far it's come. Obviously, this is really early for me, so I didn't have a whole lot of like cosmetics and stuff like that for my characters, but I thought this one was really funny. The next video was me going more meta relevant, so pushing Green King to the front and then having Green Merlin in the back for ult rush, because that was kind of the strat with this team, was just to ult rush on Escanor and then kill whoever their big damage dealer was, and then you could just basically win like that. So pretty much the same team, but get rid of Green Jericho, replace it with something a little bit more meta relevant. My CC shot up to 104 with everybody being level 80, so that's kind of neat. Next up we have Red Escanor. You can kind of see like all of the different overlays and stuff I used to use too, which is kind of cool. I used to really like putting together these overlays. But yeah, the Red Escanor team was really, really fun whenever it was out. Obviously, you just used Red Arthur to buff Escanor and used his Amplify card to absolutely destroy people. I'm pretty sure this was one of the first units. He may have been the first unit to ever get an Amplify card, and it was just absolutely insane. Just being able to, I don't know, obviously there wasn't a whole lot of characters that could buff back then, but being able to just put like an instant like 3 buffs on a character and then using that to like deal amplified damage on somebody was just fantastic. It was honestly super, super fun. And yeah, Hauser in the back to kind of boost humans and everything like that, so that was really cool. I don't know, I was always super skeptical about this because I was like, why are people running Hauser? Like, I don't get it. Like, this was way before like I understood anything about like decent team building and synergy and stuff like that. So I don't know, it's kind of crazy to see just some of these old teams and stuff like that. Moving over, this was back when they were doing the KOF collaboration, and they were doing the 4v4 game mode in normal PvP, so you could use all 4 of your characters up front straight away. You didn't have to have somebody like off camera in the background or anything like that, like in the sub slot. So all 4 characters would go out as soon as you started the match. And this one was super cool. Like, this was back when the Pierce team was super relevant. It took me forever to get Blue Demon Melee, so I don't think I actually have a showcase just using regular Blue Demon Melee, but he was a lot of fun whenever he was out. Obviously, he was super crazy for the meta at the time, so it's really funny to see that. And then Rugal was another like insane character with a Pierce card, so they obviously paired super well together. I did really well in this this PvP like bracket sort of thing whenever they were doing the 4v4s. Like I feel like I did pretty good whenever they were doing this. I think it was kind of like a fun little thing. A lot of people didn't like it because it lasted for quite a while, but it was just kind of like a fun thing that you could mess around with. But I definitely understand where people were coming from. Like you couldn't test out regular like 3v3 teams or anything like that like during this whole thing. It was basically just like a huge like gimmick that just lasted throughout the entire collaboration event. So that was kind of interesting. Definitely a lot of fun while it was out, but I don't know if they should really do that all the time. Maybe it would be cool if they did it as like a side thing, like you could play regular PvP and then they had another area where you could do 4v4s. That would be interesting. The Scourge of PvP came out. This is from November 15th. And this was when, I think this is right after Goddess Liz had just come out. Her festival had, you know, arrived and everything like that. So her and Lost Vein were absolutely destroying PvP at the time. You can see Blue King is back on the team, baby. He's still meta relevant at this time. 114k CC, so we're definitely pushing it up a little bit. We're getting there. I think this is mainly just because of me getting a lot of my like backline characters to level 80 and stuff like that. So I don't know. I may ended up. I don't know if I was even buying costumes or anything like that for characters at the time. So I think this is like baseline Goddess Liz, baseline Lost Vein Meliodas. I may have bought like one outfit for him whenever he first came out. I'm not completely sure on that. But yeah, obviously this was the team to use like for a long time. This one is not very meta relevant, but after Super Awakening came out, I really, God, look at this face. This guy's face. Who is that? What an idiot. I don't like that face. It's not getting any better. Okay, there we go. Close your eyes. Anyway, I was messing around with Hawk and Oslo a lot, and the fact that he has a single target card that lowers attack stat, and then you can use Estarosa's commandment to lower their attack related stats. I was using that basically to bully Lost Vein and make him where he would attack me, he would lower his stats, I would then lower his attack stats, and then all of his attack cards would basically deal like 0 damage. I would love to try that again now in the current meta, but I think with Escanor being out and him being able to cleanse himself every 3 turns or so, I think it would definitely ruin the dynamic for that. You would have to really like try to burst him down quickly or go for Hawk and Oslo's ultimate there. But I don't know. This was definitely like, this was probably the most fun team that I personally came up with and was just enjoying playing just in general. Just I was having a lot of fun with it. So I definitely like this team a lot. After that, we have the Festival King team, which is still outdated. Like, I mean, even after this team came out, really nobody was running it. Everybody recommended that you skip his banner, and I definitely understand why. He's really just not what you want him to be. I think if you maybe wailed hard enough and got all of his outfits and all of his stuff like maxed out, good to go, you may be able to do pretty well with him having like super high CC. But honestly, he just really falls short in a lot of aspects, which is unfortunate. Especially going against like Assault Mode Meliodas and stuff like that nowadays. Like, you have to attack him and put like damage over time effects onto him, and that's just going to feed him stacks and then make him kill you. So it really just doesn't work out too well. So that is very unfortunate. I still really like this king. He's probably one of my favorite festival units in general, but he just ended up falling so short, which is very unfortunate. Next up, we have Lost Vein. We have the One Escanor when he came out. Very, big unit. He's still very meta relevant. This was in February, and obviously he's still meta relevant on JP and KR today. Obviously, with the whole new Bond thing going on right now, he's definitely giving him a run for his money. But I think he's still, like, within the top 2 units of the game. So that's really crazy to see. Obviously, he's an absolute beast of a unit, so I didn't really expect him to go anywhere. But at this point, I've obviously switched out. I may have already done it earlier, but I wasn't paying attention. But I've gotten a red Gother on the team, or green Gother on the team now. At the time, I'm using Ludo CL on the team. I think that was just to kind of get like one-shot potential and try to like kill first turn. But obviously not very needed. It's just kind of like overkill, I think. And yeah, almost 140k CC on the team there, so definitely an improvement. I think a lot of my teams now are around the 140k CC mark, so I've really not gone up too much. But with level 90 coming out and stuff like that, it should boost them up quite a bit. Next up, we have the Assault Mode Meliodas team. When it came out, I invested pretty heavily into this team, so my CC is actually better on this one, which technically it's not, because this is me using CC food. Which, was I using CC food in this last one? I think I may have been. Shut up, you. Yeah, I was using CC food in this one, and I was only at 139, so technically my CC is higher in this one. So it's only because like I really, really like Assault Mode, and I bought all of his outfits, and then I made sure to get enough outfits to where I got 5 outfits for all 3 of these characters. So that way I could make sure that my CC was better than it should be, or well, better than what it was without him. So I definitely invested a lot into this team. I just really like Assault Mode in general. I just like the way that he plays. I like him as a character. I don't know. He's just my man, my main dude. And then last but not least, we have Festival Merlin, Lolly Merlin, True Form Merlin, whichever you call her. I really don't know what people call her. But yeah, she's pretty cool. I still use her a lot. I think she's better maybe for certain PvE aspects. Like I definitely use her for Grey Demon and stuff like that. But, she's still got a decent amount of use. I use her right now in geared or ungeared PvP for literally just like the fact that she can, one-shot blue units because she's got really crazy attack on that single target skill, so that is a lot of fun obviously to use. But yeah, I don't know, it's just honestly it's been a crazy ride down through all of these like PvP metas and stuff like that. Just it's so crazy to see like the progression and like how like the meta has changed so drastically. Like I couldn't imagine using that first team nowadays and actually expecting to get anywhere with it. I mean, I guess I could try technically, but honestly, like I feel like a lot of people wouldn't invest the resources that they did back then into those units now, obviously. So I don't know. Let me know what was a team that you guys used that you really liked before sort of metas were like crazy focused and stuff like that, because I would love to hear like what you guys used before you started like buckling down and playing seriously. Because I personally, before that first video, I was literally just using Green Jericho as my damage dealer, and she was just it was just a lot of fun trying to go for like build up your crits and then use one crit card and absolutely destroy a character. I just thought that was so fun to use, and I would love to try to use her nowadays as well. So yeah, let me know. Let me know what you guys were using, because I honestly think it would be kind of fun to read some of your comments. So other than that, that's pretty much it. Obviously, kind of a weird sort of throwback video, but it's kind of a dead week this week, so I'm just kind of trying to, come up with some fun topics and stuff like that to go over in the meantime. But other than that, that is basically it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Feel free to subscribe for more content in the future, and I will see you guys in the next video.